Good evening, Malaysians and followers from around the world. No group of Malaysians have made greater sacrifices than our soldiers and policemen, men and women. They have put their lives on the line. They have protected us, and certainly they are the true patriots of Malaysia. We salute them. Of late, the Persatuan Patriot Kebangsaan has been very vocal, and rightfully so, because all this while they have been very silent, very quiet, working behind the scene, but now they have made their voices been heard, and I think that's really good for Malaysia. The association was formed in 2017 and comprises military and police veterans. With us tonight is Brigadier General Dato Arshad Raji. He joined the army in 1965 and upon commission served as an officer of the Malay Royal Regiment. He has served in many capacities over the 33 years. And finally, as the Chief of Staff at the Army Field Headquarters prior to his retirement in 1998. Please welcome Dato Arshad and Tan Sri Johan Jafar. Thank you, guys. Welcome on board. Okay, Dato, we have been following the statements made by the Patriot, and that is really interesting. Why is it that over the past few years that your association has decided to speak up on many issues affecting the country? Why now?
It has been that 3 years. I think we were formed in 2017.
Okay.
At that time, just that was before the election, GE14. Even at that point in time, the situation in the country was a bit wasn't as stable as what we expected it to be. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of issues which are worrying us, worrying me in particular, yeah, and also my colleagues and all that. So I said, okay, in that case, now why can't we become a voice? Yeah, and we had our first. I called for a meeting. We held it at our day club. So I sent WhatsApps and all that to all my friends, and that's where I made my first press statement to tell the attendees our concern about the country event. And I was surprised that we was well supported, actually. We were supported, 100 over came. So one guy among the group came up to me and said, Arshad, kalau you buat bisnes seorang-seorang, you will never go anywhere. Yeah. Why don't you form an association? I said, okay. That's how we started. I just wanted to express my feelings, nothing else. But they suggested I should form an association. I think that's how we started.
What are the issues which are of concern, top priority, the least? What worries your association and your members?
You mean now or?
Yeah, now.
There are a lot of issues. Of course, one, I've been fighting about anti-corruption. I'm very much against corruption. Soon after I left the service, I was a blogger. I went blogging. And I always talk about corruption in my blog. Yeah? And that's my priority, because I do believe. But we in the service, that's something which you must discipline yourself. There is no corruption in service. Yeah. When I came up, when I started meeting with friends and all that, yeah, meeting up with friends, some businessmen, that they're the one who tell me, Arshad, there's a lot of corruption outside here. I said, goodness, I wasn't aware of this. So that became my first topic. Yeah. And of course, certainly, when you involve corruption, yeah, of course, the state of the country will not be stabilized. You look at what happened when people ignore the aspect of security of the company because of corruption. This becomes a very, 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 very important to us who have been serving in the armed forces. Yeah, the aspect of security has been neglected because of corruption. Yeah, the linkage, it links to other issues as well.
Yeah, Tan Sri?
Dato, okay, I certainly would like to pursue this matter about corruption later, but I would like to go back to the reason why Persatuan Patriot was formed. And one of the things you mentioned is the fact that you want the return of a happier and kinder Malaysia. Are we less happy and less kind now?
Okay, beginning there. I thought I was happier before. Way back in the 50s and 60s, I was born in 1943. 10 years older than you, country. You were born in 1963. So I thought the years when I grew up, from that grew up sampai the 60s, so was the best time of my life. Yeah. There was, if I can explain to you, my upbringing, why I'm like that. But although I was born in the kampung, but I grew up in the urban area. I'm a KL boy, and I went to primary school. That class which I went was most of them were Chinese. There were really a sprinkling of Malays, because KL being urban areas, the majority of them was Chinese. I was one of the few Malays in that class. That's how I developed that friendship. I don't see colors, even till today, because of that. And when I joined the armed forces, it's the same thing. We don't see colors. We fought together, we eat together, we play together. That was the environment I lived in since my childhood. Sampai I lived the service. And you please don't expect me to be a Melayu or what. No, I am Melayu, no doubt. But I am Malaysian first. That was one of the things I enforced in Persatuan. Do not talk about colors to me. Do not talk about your race to me. No, you are Malaysians first. I tell them that. I am very particular about that. And I'm glad. That the Persatuan does not have only armed forces personnel, but security forcemen. We have now got a group of young civilians. They're coming in a big way. At the moment they come in, I tell them, don't say yourself you're a Chinese, Indian, or Melayu, please. With me, you're Malaysian first, and you've got the right to talk. Kalau you are the issue, you say it out. And I'm developing that kind of culture in the youth, particularly. Kalau kami ni, members of the forces, we are old. Most of us are retired. We cannot join the association when we are in service. So most of us are past 60s. I think we are gone now. I want to develop these young civilians who are coming in to be true Malaysian, true patriots actually, and they are patriots in many ways.
But Dato, what actually happened over the years? We were brought up in that atmosphere. I think I'm about your generation. So we were brought up under that circumstances. But over the years, what went wrong? What happened actually?
Okay. I can be very frank with you there. It's politics.
It's politics,
I went through. It's politics. Siapa yang divide kita sekarang? It's politics. So I must admit to you now, I'm allergic to politicians. Betul. I've been telling them, you do not know how to behave yourself. You akan memecah belahkan bangsa. And this what do you call it? This racial based parties. To me, you should get rid of it. Kalau you want to have a truly Malaysian society, this business of having a Melayu party, a Cina party, Indian party must get out. Kalau tidak, we will never be united. We can never be united because each race has got its own interest. Betul? You got my own interest, you got your own interest. You can never be united. And these are the things that I learned in armed forces. But we don't think like that. We all think it's one. We work as one. We fight as one. But when we come out in the open, when I retired, I come into the other world. My goodness, I said, what's wrong with this world? I said, what's wrong with this world? It's all politics. Politics is the one that really breaks it up. I blame politics, Tan Sri.
Dato, realistically, we understand your ideal, but realistically, do you think it is possible that we stop talking about identity contestation in terms of race and religion in the country after what happened?
We can do it. Kalau bila I'm actually macam you talk about NGOs. We also have NGOs which are racial based. But I will agree. I can agree with them kalau they can really pandu kepada kita punya national philosophy rukun negara tu. Follow them. But they're not doing that. Some of them do. So I really appreciate some NGOs. They're really working together. They're trying to get people together, although they are racial bias NGOs. But I think they're doing something very good. But most of them are not like that. You know, I was criticized, Tan Sri, because of saying something like this. I was criticized. To me, I'm not bothered, because I'm trying to say something which I want the whole nation to get together, and the only way together is, you know, satuan lah. But no, I think, as I said, for as long as I still believe that this racial, you know, NGOs, political parties, to me, it has got to go lah.
Okay, no Dato Sri Wong, can I have one more question?
Sure, you can have 2 questions if you like.
Dato,
yeah.
What do you think about this concept of Ketuanan Melayu?
I wrote something about that. And I was criticized. I don't believe so. I don't believe. There's no Ketuanan. Mana agama kita kan ada tak berkata. Just our religion says that we are Tuan? No way. The religion says, we can quote in hadith. Allah brought us up together, and you look at the hadith sahih. But we have to work together. We are born in various shapes and sizes and colors and all that. But the whole idea is to get together. But we don't seem to be getting together for what I tak faham. I really don't understand. Yeah, religion is just to be together, but we seem to be breaking up most of the time. What's wrong with us?
Dato, you mentioned about race. You mentioned about race being a problem. Do you think that religion has also played its part in Malaysia, where religion has been used as a political tool? I mean, we have politicians masquerading as ulamas, as theologians, and it happens and it has make it quite difficult. What is your view on this?
Okay, yeah. I'm on the old guard. Yeah, I think way back in the 50s and 60s, though, we were more religious than what is today. Like, yeah, we are more religious than what I never heard of corruption in the 50s and 60s. You know, I never heard of corruption. Today, the amount of ustaz that have gone overseas to study religion and all that, but by title after their name, ustaz. Tapi look at the corruption that's happening today. Billions have gone. Everybody, every Dick and Harry is corrupt. Every department of government is corrupt. Can we? Di mana siapa yang ajar dia corrupt? I don't understand. Kalau agama says don't be corrupt, don't be corrupt. Yeah. I said,
agaknya air dengan minyak tak bercampur lah tu.
Now I expect with the amount of ustaz, learned Islam scholars today, we don't have corruption at all. No abuse, nothing. But we have corruption every day.
Dato, perhaps that those on the downliners, they probably say that look, as soldiers or as policemen, we should not be getting these low salaries. And look, if I live in KL, if my salary is so low, it's going to be very hard for me to feed my family. And I see those guys on the top there, these politicians at the top levels, they are not showing good examples. They are living a life which cannot be explained. Their lifestyle cannot be explained.
Yeah.
Berjuta-juta, berbilion-bilion, and we have enough cases, the 1DB, to show us that, oh my God, how can this happen? So those guys at the downliners will say that, look, those guys are whacking the money. So what's wrong if I whack a bit so that my child can have McDonald's for the weekend? Do you buy that kind of argument?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's all to me. It's all upbringing. Kalau you did your own children to be good, to be kind, to be good, to avoid all this nonsense, I think you will be a very good citizen. But yeah, you cannot say that because the people are rich, they got so much money, they ignore people that do it. They start going be corrupt. I don't think that's so. It's solely the upbringing, and I see the religious. These people who are corrupt, they have got religious knowledge, you know.
Yeah.
You have got religion. Why are they corrupt? It's something which I cannot understand. With your religious, with pop religion, you're still corrupt. I simply can't understand this. But it's not. I will not agree with you to say that they could because the people up there are so super rich. There are some down there. They start. I don't think that's so. You're surely bringing.
Mm. Do you think that the corruption in this system is so entrenched that is almost impossible for us to get out of it, or do you think there's hope from Malaysia?
No, yeah. when you have top politicians corrupt, very corrupt, the boss is not the boss number one, number two are corrupt. What can you expect, man? What can you expect? I've been always trying the idea, why can't these guys who are top people corrupt, and then dah ada hukuman, boleh keluar dalam kamar senyum-senyum lagi lambai. Why can't they go straight to the prison, serve the sentence first, and then you start your appeal from the jail, from your prison cell? Why must they be released and wait for an appeal? Appeal takes months.
I think that's because we have the British systems, unlike the American system.
American system straight to the jail first.
Yes. You appeal from the jail. Ours is the British system. You got to wait for to exhaust your avenues of appeal until the federal court.
We can change it. The laws are not Quran, and you can change. We can change that. Why can you change it? I think if you do that, it's more effective. I believe more effective. Yeah. Otherwise, that guy will be in prison now. Yeah. He's fighting his appeal from prison cell.
Yeah. Dato, there's another point. You see, heroes now. So you see, you talk about the concept of a hero in society lah. So those who are corrupt now has become heroes. jadi hero baru lah, you know. And they always say, probably there's some thinking that as long as you are Malay and Muslim, corrupt pun tak apa. As long as you are Malay and Muslim, kalau you salah guna kuasa pun tak apa. You know, I mean, how do you feel about all this kind of argument?
It's all wrong. To me, it's wrong. I think you believe that it is all wrong. Yeah. And you have also heard people saying, some guy politician said, kalau you tak kena tangkap, it's okay. you know that? Yeah. You know that? Yeah. And one guy said, corruption is not an offense. Macam mana? What is this? So selagi benda-benda ni tak dibetulkan, it's not corrected. People will tend to believe now. Kalau kan diorang ni leaders, diorang ni alim ulama. When they tend to believe, orang kampung will believe it. You see? Lepas tu sekarang ni orang kampung, they still believe their own government is better than what it is today. Because the mindset dah begitu. We cannot change. I don't know how to change it unless there is a big revolution that we can change. Otherwise, it's impossible.
Okay, what can you do, Dato? What can you do? Or your persatuan? What can your persatuan?
Okay, we have been coming up with statements and all this. We got something like 100 over statements we made. Some connected to sort of things. But what can we do? I can launch a revolution. I cannot do it. The only thing that I do is to write and to tell people about it, or organize forums and seminars. It's do it. Do people listen or not? I don't think they listen. But those who are corrupt will never listen.
Dato, do you think that the reason why these politicians are able to get away with this is because that race and religion is still a good selling point for politicians? And they know that if they use that in the kampong and even in the cities among different races use the race different ways. Okay, we all know that it's not just the Malays. I mean, the other races are also equally responsible. But politicians think that they can get away with it. How long are we going to continue with this? I mean, for these politicians to keep on using it, and it works because it works. Oh, they keep on using it.
It will never change. But I go back to what I've said just now. Yeah. This party or a party or based on race should not exist at all. Yeah, kalau we can all accept that. I think we can solve a lot of problems. But I don't think kalau selagi ada benda party based on race, it will never work. But because you want to get your votes, of course you have to use your race. You have to use religion. That's what do you call that? Political expediency. You must. Yeah. That's what it is.
It looks like a very tall order, though.
It's a tall order. It's a tall order. I do not know who could change this. Not during my time. My time running out.
I mean, Dato, that you talk about. I mean that the change about this. I mean, you have the police in veterans in your association. The perception is that the instruments of authority, we call it instruments of authority, whether it's a soldier, the police, or MACC, the perception, okay, I must be very careful here. The perception, rightly or wrongly, is that these agencies are taking orders from the leaders. So the government detect them to say that, look, this is what you should do. And the result is that the public thinks that, well, these agencies are not independent. Do you think that they should perhaps report to Parliament rather than to the government of the day?
I think that's one way of doing it. Memang betul, people's perception is very true. I also perceive the same thing. When we have a VIP, important, higher level politician being investigated upon, and suddenly there's nothing else. He's been released. Macam I quote you one example. Yang what happened in Kedah. I will not mention name. You know who they are, He was caught breaching the SOP. How long did it take him to be investigated? Only sekarang, baru a few days ago, he was summoned. Police summoned him. You should. Kalau you and me, I think straight away the police summon you. But why must you take so long to investigate? Why benda salah pun? They've got videos and all that. Why must you take a long time to investigate? Why? Because he's somebody. That's the perception that people that is given to people. I perceive the same thing as well. I can't help it. I think it's true.
Mm-hmm. The perception probably because of this. You remember the novel Animal Farm? All animals are born equal, but some are more equal than others. dia kata kluster kayangan tu.
Yeah, sure. Right. Okay.
Dato, I look at I was researching your association, and I found quite really fascinating that your EXCO lineup comprises of actually people from various races. I had the assumption that given the fact that most of the army and the policemen, they're mostly from Malay background, that the association has been able to actually voted in a lineup which is actually multiracial. It would not happen in other associations. How did you guys manage to do this across all races?
Yeah, because we look at each other as brothers. You must come and see us in our office. We treat each other like brothers. We have rank. We forget your rank. Forget your rank. And I always like to see a mix. As I said once again, I always say it again. I was brought up in a different environment. I will bring up in an environment where I mix with people, and I would like to see. Even my association, my communities are all mixed. You've got Chinese, you've got Indians, you've got Bengali, you've got Perempuan in my association, in my committee.
What do you think is happening now, Dato? Looking at the political and the economic situation now, what is your comment?
To me, it's pathetic. I like to use the word pathetic. I think something drastic has to happen. No, we have got. Imagine we have got 32 ministers and 38 deputy ministers. We should be doing well. What's wrong with us now? Where are they? I don't see them. I don't see them anywhere. It's the rakyat that's moving now. The rakyat is so happy in the rakyat now. I see every day WhatsApp now that rakyat getting together to support another rakyat who's poor. Where are the other 32 ministers and 38 deputy ministers? I don't see them. Which one? We have got leaders who are supposed to lead, but they're not there to lead. So this, I use the word pathetic. Very pathetic what's happening today.
Do you think that there is excessive politically in this country? That because the government is weak, it doesn't have the numbers, and the result is that while rakyat like this are talking about the problems facing the country, the lack of safety net, and that the people are lining up for food, people are feeling insecure. We got a pandemic, and the confidence are pretty low. But the politicians are still fighting over whether we should overthrow the existing government. Instead of going to Parliament to talk about COVID-19, they are talking about we should perhaps go there to challenge the government. I mean, you use the word pathetic. I use the Malay word meluat lah. Kita sudah meluat ni. Fed up. What is your views of this? What are the views of this excessive politicking?
How do I tell the politicians? I don't know how to tell them now. They should know themselves. They are leaders of the country. They should know themselves what they must do. If this cannot go on, the country is, as you said, the country is going down. COVID, 13,000 every day. Come on now. And yet they're trying to find who's going to be the next prime minister, who's going to be next deputy minister. And this to me is absolute rubbish. Why don't you lay down yourself, get back together, work together as a team, forget who you are, forget what party you come from, get together. We have got some of the best brains in the country, but I don't know. if the best brains are among the 70 people, I don't believe so. We have got the brain. Why can't you get these best brains together, work together? I think we can do it. You can do it, but you're not doing it. Because why? Takut hilang jawatan. Yeah, some people are much cleverer than you. You take over you hilang jawatan. This is the attitude now. That's what I think. That's pathetic.
What is your advice to the Prime Minister, though?
I tell him, sack all the 80 lah. Sack all those 70 people. Get the best. We have got the best. I believe so. We have got the best. And I've met some good, but they're not politicians. Some good brains in the country, but they're not politicians because they don't want to become politicians. They don't want to get involved in all this funny issues. And because of that. Kalau our politicians are good, I think the country will be okay. But we have got a set of funny people too. I think they're funny.
I think that Dato, that the Prime Minister is unable to sack anyone because if they sack anyone, one or two, the numbers will just shrunk and he might not even be able to keep his job. Now, I want to follow up to what you said. Yes, I mean, we're sitting here talking about politicians who are not performing their jobs, politicians who do not give us confidence. But we must also ask ourselves, why is it that there are many talented people who do not want to go into politics? They get turned off or got frightened by these talks that if they go in, they will be sucked into the system. They will also become corrupt, or they compromise, or they sacrifice their principles, because that is the perception of politicians. What is your advice to good people? What do you think they should really, instead of just talking, actually go into the game? What is your advice?
There are good people who want to go into politics. I know there are some people, but the politicians themselves do not want them. I tell you this secret. I was a member of a political party soon after I left the service, thinking I want to contribute my service, whatever I have, back to society. And from there, I learned the good ones are always being set aside. They don't want the good ones. The boss wants to control the lower guys. They can, if you have good guys, I don't think they can control the good guy. That's the problem, and it still exists today. I need to ask the Prime Minister. Is that so? I think I believe so. This happens everywhere. It happens to anybody. One political party that I joined, I saw this happening.
Dato, has any veteran policeman or veteran army been appointed as a senator at the Dewan Negara to speak for the association and for the veterans?
I think we have. We had several. I think one normally they choose the chief defense forces, the PAT, to be a senator. We had the former naval guy who was chief defense forces, who was senator. I think we have that. I think we have got another Navy guy, a senator, in Dewan Negara.
Unfortunately, I've not heard about them.
No, because why? It's only one voice. This is where you must have heard that there's now a group of veterans who wants to go into politics. You must have heard of that. Yeah,
interesting.
They're forming political party, and they're coming in a good way. I think that's a
for
way.
The next generation.
I believe they're going for the next GE. I support that.
Very interesting. Very good.
Although they may be old, because most of them are retirees, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
They
matter.
have a voice in Parliament, and their voice. But all this time, our voices are not heard. Yeah. That's why they came. Yeah.
Dato,
Asri?
Sorry, Dato, you mentioned something about the quality of ministers here. Why is that during the Tengku time, during the time of Tun Razak, when you have good ministers and good deputy ministers, why can't we get that kind of people now? What is the problem?
We need that country, it's all interest, personal interest. Those days, they don't have personal interest. It's serving the country. You look like Dr. Ismail, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, all that. They don't have personal interest. They got nothing in them. They just want to serve the nation. And we have got a good leader. Tengku Rahman is a good leader, showing good example, working together with all Malaysians then as one society. Currently, each of them has got interest. I want to become, you know what? If I become ketua bahagian, I show Dato punya. I'm sure. This is what they're talking about now. They want to become ketua bahagian, ketua cawangan, tak dapat Dato. Tell me which ketua bahagian is not Dato now? You tell me. Semua ni Dato.
Dato is not good enough. Must be minimum Dato Sri, okay? Dah bagi Dato dah bagi Dato Sri dah sekarang ni.
This is a problem. You've got interest in you. Because you don't have interest. You'll be good. Follow the old.
We have to bring back that ideal, the fire in the belly to serve, Dato. So what is your suggestion? Kita nak lahirkan generasi muda ni supaya dia orang ni kembali kepada idealism tu.
Itulah dia. I think this G15 is critical. That's why we have to talk to the younger generation. I support the muda of the party. I support. We have to bring in young people. I don't believe in electing people who are 70 years old, people like me. No. I believe gone. There has got to be in the age of 40s, 30, 40s. That's the best age. We've got more years to work out. And we have got people. I'm quite sure we have got good people, smart people. But unfortunately, they're susah untuk mereka nak pujuk dia into politics. Susah. Because they're so fearful of doing politics. Because what they see is happening today. Why we try? I think we can try hard. We try talking to them. Probably this is what I will tell my young civilian girls that come in. Please open your mouth and say, don't shut. You know something is wrong. Please open it and talk about it. You have got the right to talk. Don't be afraid. You've got the right to talk. You have the majority nation. You've got the right to talk. Talk. Say. Jangan diam saja. But itulah dia takut kalau buka mulut kan tangkap. Come on.
Datuk sebab dah lama ikut perintah ni. Datuk, I want to ask you this question because you mentioned about this orang muda. I nak tanya pasal orang lama lah, okay? I mean that we have many leaders dah 90 tahun lebih dah, 80 over dah, tapi masih nak jadi Perdana Menteri. Masih degree tak nak turun daripada from the stage, still wants to become the leader, nak jadi pengurusi majlis. What is your message to these people yang dah lama dah, orang lama dah, cukup lah. Bagi orang lancar ni. What is your view?
I think people of that age should not be moved. They can become advisors, no doubt. They have got the knowledge, they can advise you. But to get involved in politics directly, that take over to hold appointment, I think they should not be so long. You have to have young. You should be guiding them to be good politicians. So the age is most of the
Dato', I want to ask this question, okay? Because we want to take a few steps back as we approach the National Day. You know that another thing which has really disappeared is our Rukun Negara. I mean, it was beautifully crafted. Kepercayaan kepada Tuhan. It's so beautiful. I mean, everybody can relate to that.
Yeah.
Right. It just get disappeared. Unlike Indonesia, I mean, Pancasila is everybody remember that. Here it seems that every time there's a new prime minister, there are new ideologies and new principles, and we can't remember. But it's very sad that Rukun Negara has just gone disappear. And even the word liberal has become a crime now. What is your view on this?
You see, Rukun Negara ni we only listen to it during Hari Kemerdekaan, kebangsaan. That Rukun Negara must be instilled in people right from the moment they enter school. Pada mula, you have to build get that thing into their skull. From masuk sekolah je dah tahu dah. They recite all of it and do what is expected of them to do. Jangan baca saja tak faham.
Tan Sri, you can have your last two questions.
Yeah. Okay. I have two last questions for you, Dato'. Number one. Are you a contrarian among the veterans, the one who is vocal, whereas others would rather keep quiet and not speaking up their views?
No, not so. Kalau I read my WhatsApp every day, hari-hari, bertakak hari-hari. There are a lot of issues, and I cannot even respond to them. There's so many issues. I've given them freedom to see what they want. Only within ourselves. Yeah. Kalau We cannot. Some issues you cannot relate it. You can be defamatory and all that. We do. Yes. I don't want my members to be, but you can talk inside. Raise up the issues inside. I think we're doing that. My members are not quiet. You must come and see my members. Talk to them. And do you understand who they are?
Okay, my last question. Brigadier General Bersara Arshad single-handedly cannot change the destiny of the nation. So what is your advice? What is your view about the kind of nation that you envision, and which is your ideal, basically the kind of thing that you want to do?
The kind of country that I want is a country where every individual rakyat speaks with one way, speaks with one voice. And they have to be united. Jangan bercakap among yourself. No. Sekarang ni, lah, because of racism. Race is the most important. We have to get rid of this. I love to go back to my years of 50s and 60s. It was so wonderful. It's so wonderful. You look at your friends. Sebelah aku ni bahasa lain, sebelah kanan aku bahasa lain. And we don't feel anything. We are just like friends, and that's how it was in the 50s and 60s. Sorry to say, sekarang ni, I don't know lah. You should know yourself. Like, you're in this generation today. I felt both. I felt the best of the years, and I'm seeing the worst of the years.
Yeah. Tan Sri Johan, you have taken my question. You hijacked it. And then the parting shot by the general has already been fired, okay? But I really want to thank our Brigadier General Bersara for taking on this battle, okay? Even though he's already coming to
crusade.
Yeah, his crusade masih berpegang ni, berjuang untuk rakyat. Yeah. So I really salute him. And as I always say that we all believe in Malaysia, and that this is our home. And I always remember what Martin Luther King said, all right? He says that we may come in different ship, but now we are all in the same boat.
You're right.
So in Malaysia, we're all together. Whether we like it or not, we may have our differences, we may have our prejudices even, but we're all together because there's no other place that is home to us. So we want to thank Dato for sharing your outspoken views, amazing views to our viewers tonight. Amazing. Okay, I think I want to join your club, right?
No, you're welcome. I really, when L's over, I'll invite you to come and say hello.
And Tan Sri Johan, again, thank you so much. We wish everyone, please stay safe. Good night, and everyone, hello and good night.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.